All right, everybody, welcome in and welcome back. Season 4, episode 14, aka our 125th show. Andy, the big 125.
The big 125, indeed. Amazing that we've made 100 and then we've made 25 over that. And that yawn is definitely going to be a forecast to the show because that is probably what I'm going to sound like and probably be for the rest of you guys in this 125th podcast. So, but we're
Andy
not tired of doing the
so
show.
bored.
We're not tired of doing the show.
Andy is so bored.
No, I watched the United Bournemouth game live, and now I'm just like, I don't know what I just saw. I'm going to sleep. I'm giving up. I'm just giving up for the day. I'm just going to sleep.
Yeah.
But Barcelona has better fortunes than my club, so let's definitely start with yours, Blaugrana. Paul, please tell me about Barcelona. Please tell me they won.
They did, Andy, but it was a war of attrition. Holy cow.
Whoa.
It was a rough watch, kind of. Like Barcelona were creating chances here and there and actually had a garbage offside called against them. So off of a corner, Barcelona played it short to Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal played it back to Rafinha. And then like 5 or 6 passes later, Barcelona ended up getting a goal off of it after like a dink over the top to Ferran Torres. And they brought it all the way back to that start, the short corner. But it made no sense because if you looked at what the semi-automated VAR was showing versus what the game footage was showing, they were saying Rafinha's heel was in front of the ball, which if you look at the still images, it's not, for one. For two, I'm pretty sure he was further back on the field than the furthest back Osasuna player. So should have also been onside for that. And then the third thing, in the semi-automated VAR, because it was so close to the end line, the camera was so whack that the line that they used to kind of go through where the ball is was at an angle. Like you can clearly see it's at an angle. It's not straight. It's like,
not the technology being so bad in the video. Oh no,
yeah, it was bad.
Worst nightmare. Yikes.
Yeah, so that Barcelona would have scored within the first 30 minutes from that, but because that was disallowed, Barcelona don't get the goal. So they don't get their goal until like the 70th minute, where Rafinha on a counterattack, a rare counterattack that Barcelona got, Pedri waits, plays a beautiful ball to Rafinha after letting the defenders drop off, and then from the top of the 18, he just smashes the ball with his left foot in the corner. And then he also scored 15 minutes later off of a deflected cross from Koundé, and he was wide open at the back post. So easiest goal that he's ever going to have. So the captain, the returning captain, gets a brace. Barcelona gets a win. It was very much a war of attrition. I think the only negative that I have to kind of show from that game, or kind of to go over from that game, is, so we tried playing Torres up top and then Rafinha in the 10 and then Rashford on the left and Yamal on the right. So Osasuna was basically parking the bus, playing 11 guys behind the ball and just trying to beat Barcelona on a counterattack. And I don't think in a game like that, Rafinha is the best choice for a 10. You know, he scored 2 goals, so you can't be too critical, right? But the problem is he's not a good enough possessor of the ball to play intricate passes, which is what you need to break down a team that's 10, 11 guys behind the ball.
Yeah, right. You need someone who can have the right weight of the pass to get it and knows the right time when to play that. Yeah. To catch the defense off guard. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So I think
not that he can't do that, but like that's not his.
It's not.
That's not what his strong suit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly. So Olmo would be perfect in that situation, but obviously we're going to be missing Olmo for a few months with that dislocated shoulder. But I honestly would rather put Lamine Yamal in that 10 role, because he's going to attract more attention, and he's going to be able to make more plays dribbling the ball. Like, dribbling is also not really Rafinha's strong suit. He is better in space and making quick decisions, blasting by people with his speed. So, they did a little bit of swapping, but I think Hansi's going to see that and give them more license to, hey, flip flop a lot. Let's confuse the defense. We need some movement. And I think
Mhm.
he will actually end up starting Lamine Yamal in that 10 role to kind of give him that opportunity to be able to dribble through more defenders and allow him to be on the ball more. And I think Barcelona needs that in these kind of games, because I think when he's out on the wing, the other team can kind of use the sideline as another defender and
Yeah.
bring one or two guys over and kind of push him out and push him out.
Mhm.
But if he starts in the middle, he's got too much space.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be more effective there. So that's the only like minor criticism that I have. But is a really good win against a team that was playing for a draw, which, as you know, in league games is those are some of the hardest teams to beat.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
great effort and very happy with the result.
Yeah. It's just always good when you have, as a team, I think you can break down the opponent that decides to just sit and drop back. Because I think
Yep.
I'm seeing, at least from from the games that I'm watching with United, like people feel they can have a go at United. So we're not seeing as many people just say, okay, it's just going to be the two banks of five
Yep.
and you try to break us down. Whereas Barcelona, you guys are at that level. So
Yeah.
they're showing you a lot of respect in that they know that you guys are doing, like, can dominate a game. And if it gets like that, you guys you will win it. So yeah, to find the way to break it down, it works. I think it'll be interesting with Lamine because he doesn't seem like the kind of the initial idea of like who could be that number 10, but
Yeah.
it's it's whoever's available there,
Right.
who can play that. So
Yeah, and
makes sense.
For Means still kind of coming back from injury, so he'll probably work into that spot as well.
Uh,
But I think Lamine has, of all the players in the world, Lamine has the closest skill set to Messi. And that was Messi's
yeah.
bread and butter, right? Playing in that false nine, that kind of 10 sort of role, and
Mm,
facilitating intricate 1-2, tiki taka kind of passes and getting into space.
yeah.
Messi started in Lamine's position at his age. Like that's what he did. He played that right wing role.
Hmm.
Classic, cut it in onto his left foot, bend it into the goal. Like the similarities are there. I
Yeah.
think I agree with you. I think Lamine has to get better, but I think between the two of who has the most potential, it's
Hmm.
Lamine as a dribbler and with his
Yeah.
skill set is more likely to succeed in that position than Rafinha is.
Yeah. Do you think
So
it would change, just as a for curiosity's sake, since we're kind of on the topic,
yeah,
would putting Lamine on the right, I guess, if you put him in this at the 10, he's not going to be probably so much trying to stretch defenses as he is trying to pick the ball in those pockets and
right,
find the pass.
right.
Do you think that is going to take away from his ability? How much do you think that's going to take away from his ability to operate on either wing and be that threat to kind of beat a left back or right back or center back and go around them on the wings?
I think it would affect him. I think though in the long run it would make him better for two reasons.
Mm,
So it's going to give him the skills to see the passes, which I think is a huge part when you are as good as he is. You have to be able to see the passes that are almost not there, kind of like how Messi does it, right? Because of how much defensive attention the other teams give to you. You gotta be able to find those passes because you're not going to be able to go 1-on-3, 1-on-4 every time, right? You're going to
yeah.
have to draw those guys to you and be able to find the pass that is almost impossible to see.
Right.
So give him that skill set. But for two, I think it's also going to attract more defenders to him and give him the option of, again, I'm not telling him to play like strictly that only 10 rule, like flip flop it with Rafinha every few times during a game, randomly switch it up. Because I think when they did that, the Osasuna defense got confused at times because they're like, oh crap, like Rafinha's in my area now. Where's Lamine? That was my guy.
Yeah.
Like I need to
Yeah.
find him. And I think it pulled people out of different positions. So
Hmm.
I think for those two reasons, I think it's going to help him in the future. And I'm not saying like the de facto that's going to be our default formation, but I think it's an option that we need to consider. And like in this situation, we're almost hurt. We need somebody to play more in that attacking role to give us better options.
Yeah.
Um, to break down this very staunch, very stingy, far back parked bus defense we got to find somebody to be there, to be that catalyst, that wedge to drive it into the wall and break it apart.
Yeah.
So
So it's yeah. So I hear that point of like Lamine probably has the higher of the potential to get there to make that happen.
yeah,
I think it'll be. I hope it works because I know it can be interesting when right like if his output starts going down because he's playing in this role,
yeah,
then everyone media is going to start coming in, fans are going to start coming in and having their opinions on it.
yeah.
So I
I
do
mean,
agree. Yeah.
to be honest, though, if we continue to get wins, like I don't think anybody's going to care because like
Oh yeah. No one will care.
Lamine Yamal hasn't scored since the 5-3 win against Betis, I think. Like, and I think that was his first goal in a while. You know,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where Lamine isn't having a fantastic season, but he's drawing so much attention that it's creating opportunities for other guys. You know,
Yeah.
like Koundé's game against Eintracht Frankfurt, where he scored 2 goals, was because Lamine was commanding so much attention that Koundé was able to make these runs from his right back position and go in basically unmarked. Like
Yeah.
people were not
Yeah.
picking him up at all. And you know, it's one of those things like I think the positives of drawing so many eyes and defenders, and you get even more of that when you play in the center of the park versus on one of the wings, right? I think it's going to vastly outweigh the negatives, and it might not be great for his scoring numbers, but I think it's going to be great for the team as a whole, and I think it's going to make him play a little bit differently and be that dual kind of distributor and playmaker scorer that Messi was. It would force him to do that more, which I think he needs to get up into that stratosphere. And it's a very lofty place that he has to get to, and I think there's a long way for him to go to get there. But again, he's only 18. He's still developing his craft. He's still growing, you know, into his body. Like he's not even a full grown man yet.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's the next step that he has to go to. And I think having that option to play him there is only going to make him and the team better.
Yeah. I think so. And I agree with that idea if there's a chance for them to kind of all rotate in the 10s, because I think that'll really cause the chaos that you're looking to happen in the defense. Yeah. So
So
hope that continues for that.
I agree. All right, Andy, we've come to the part of the podcast that I just pencil in as one giant question mark. Which United did we get this week?
Yeah, that's a great way of starting it. Because I've been thinking of like there's so many themes that can be with United right now of like they're the most consistently inconsistent team. You can do things on that. So there's many themes. So your theme of like which United showed up. This is the team that has consistently showed up at home, of not necessarily losing games, but the ones that can't hold a lead. So in this game, Paul, without reading the scoreline, there were 3 times that United took the lead in this game.
Oh no.
And we scored 4 goals in the game. Yet there was a draw. We drew. So, which is this one I think hurts more because I put in the notes a brilliant goal, and this is a brilliant goal to get the game tied. This was a goal that maybe the foul that allowed this free kick to happen was weak. I, to be honest, don't really care when there's, because I think those do go either. I think those do go either way in general, and that's just kind of how I think about it. Because the goal that was that tying goal, this ended up being the 3rd goal in the game. I'll skip the other 2 because at this point it didn't matter. Like the first 2 goals that were scored didn't matter because we were down 1, and so we needed to get level. And Bruno Fernandes's free kick was the perfect free kick. I haven't seen too many like free kick goals. I feel when they have, they've been like kind of not from direct kicks. But this one I feel was up there in the ones that I've seen, because I really I couldn't believe what I had seen from Bruno Fernandes. Picture perfect. A curled shot top bins, top upper right 90, where it was rising, but hit the underside of the crossbar.
Mm-hmm.
The goalkeeper had no chance, and no goalkeeper had any chance. This was a perfectly executed free kick, exactly when United needed it to get back into the game, to tie it. This is when it feels like it has to be. We've had scored this perfect, beautiful free kick goal. Like, that should be a game winner. That should
Mm-hmm.
easily be a game winner, or be one of the goals that leads you to winning the game. But what do? We give it up. We get a goal from Mateus Cunha, who was, again, I think he's definitely one of our linchpin players because
Mm-hmm.
of the ability that he has to dribble. So he had a great game. He ended up scoring, and 2 minutes later, let's say put it at the 80th minute, we are now up 4-3, and like you could see Ruben Amorim on the bench after Mateus's goal is scored, him motioning to say, like, just get back, hold the ball. Like, you can see this in the replay,
Mm-hmm.
that he is actively trying to tell his team to calm down, hold the ball. We now need to have control.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this is how I remember it. There was a couple of passages where we then ended up gifting the ball back to Bournemouth, where there's a chance where Bruno could have just recycled possession near middle of the pitch. He decides to launch it long to Ahmad. Ahmad miscontrols it, gives the ball back to Bournemouth. That wasn't the killer. The killer was on a throw in just a throw in, not a long throw in, just a regular throw in. Bournemouth threw it in to their player. This is around like our midfield.
Mm-hmm.
And Kabi Mainu had come in, or it was in the match, and he came across and shuffled over to try to win the ball, and it got bounced around past him. So all of a sudden, he's now out of position. We have two midfielders on one side and Bournemouth midfielders on the other side of the pitch.
Yep.
Makes it real easy. He just drives in. Our outside center backs did not have a great game in terms of getting into that channel to stop those through balls to come in. And easy mode. Bournemouth finds the pass, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, puts it past Lamens.
Yeah.
I just can't wrap my head around this, because this is something we've seen for years, where United have, in this one it's different in that United actually look like they're dominating games.
Sure.
But then it's just like, it's so easy for a different team to play against us, because they can just scythe through our midfield already at the defense. So to me, I think that's the big issue, is our midfielders cannot control the game. And they bring so many great qualities, like Bruno, like getting that goal, huge. And Casemiro was also one of the other goal scorers, huge in terms of getting goals. But they are not a unit that can control and possess a game, and that's what it came down to. Is like, we could not control the game, and that's what happened. So that's why I say beautiful goal gone to waste.
Yeah.
Couple things for top performers, I'd put Cunha up there. Phenomenal. He's that maverick that can just create something on nothing. He's so confident. He does feel like he doesn't look like he is weighed down by the United shirt, even though this is only his second goal in 18 games playing for United. But I haven't heard anything from the fans being like he needs to do more. I think everyone is in agreement. He's doing exactly what he needs to be doing, because he's making an impact. I'm going to say this feels kind of surprising. I think the first time I'm saying it, Brian Mbeumo looked off it, which is wild, because he is like our top scorer.
Right.
His passes were off. He had a couple wide open or pretty open chances, and you would expect someone like him to score.
Mm-hmm.
Fluffed him. Didn't even get him on target. I want to say 2 or 3 in this. And I would say for that, I'm a little disappointed in Lamens for not getting a free kick goal that we missed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think there's that, and I think my final point that I'll make for United game is United. I am afraid is doing this thing where we hang our hat on a sub that isn't being used, and we immediately say they're the reason kind of why we're not performing the way we should be performing.
Mm.
We do this. We tend to do this. I don't know if this happens in Barcelona, but we put all this on our sub, and we're doing this for Kobbie Mainoo. We did this before with Donny van de Beek. We did this before, I think, with Ugarte under Ten Hag. We keep finding these players that we're like, oh man, all we gotta do is just play him, and like he's going to fix everything.
Mm.
Kobbie Mainoo is at could say at fault for the goal that ended up tying it, and we could have won it. Because he does not have the speed, he doesn't have the strength. He can definitely play out a little bit better and is more comfortable on the ball, but his defensive awareness and where he needs to be and to cover that amount of ground, he just doesn't have that, and that's needed in that area if he's
Yeah.
going to be in the midfield. So I just don't like this thing where I see with United of saying like, oh, because they almost like use this they use this person as a what's the phrase? They hang it over the manager's head of like, well, you should play this person more, you'd win more games. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, the reason he's not on the field is because he is not good enough, and something the manager is seeing is not good enough. And then you put him on there, and like, does he have a amazing effect on the game? Completely changes the game? No, he doesn't. So
Yeah.
just a really frustrating one to see so many goals go to waste. I
Sure.
think that's the tough part. If it was a 1-1 draw, fair, totally fair. But when United's expected goals are 3.1 and Bournemouth's are 1.5, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
4-4 draw,
Yep.
lots to be disappointed by.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
I guess my question is, so kind of starting this, Ferguson always said he'd rather see a 4-4 than a 0-0 draw, right? So with that, with all the offense, obviously came some less than desirable defense. As a United fan, or can United fans see past the results and pick out the good parts and go, I think there's more good here than bad. I like where we're at and I can see where our future is? Or is it
yeah,
more of we keep letting these chances slip, we're not performing in these games, we aren't as good as some people think we are, we're on the slide? Like where
yeah.
are things at for you,
I
and where are things at for other United fans, do you think?
I think for me, like the team is showing signs of just being the consistently inconsistent team, which
Okay.
is that's so like these results are going to happen. There is going to be this feeling of frustration and this feeling of letdown,
Mm-hmm.
and there will be games like this where we should have won, and we're seeing a lot of those. I think that's the frustrating thing is seeing how many of them in quick succession, because that gives a sense of like they're not necessarily learning. But again, this I don't think this is like necessarily a learning issue. I think this is a personnel issue that we just
Got it.
have to accept. Um, I think that's the case there. I'm not hearing too many things of people being like, people saying Amarin up, because again, United needs to get past this thing of entitlement that we should be beating these teams,
Yeah.
because you just have to look to last year. We were 15th. And even before that, under Ten Hag, based on like our performances, if you looked at statistics, they ranked us like 11th, 12th, 13th. So we have to be realistic in knowing that we're not that good of a club. We're not even good as a club. We have to recognize that we're a bad club.
Got it.
I think to start that. So I do think in general there are positives. The way that they're playing, the fact that there are moments where we are dominating and things look like they are clicking, I
Mm-hmm.
think that is good. Like that is
Yeah.
good. Those are signs that were not there last year, so that's improvement, and we're just in the improvement stage. So that's good. And we're getting points. Last year, I don't think we win this game. I think we lose probably 4-1.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
honest. So
Yeah.
that's for me. That's where it is. So it's really just a frustration in an overall thing, but it does. we do want to see that there is some changes on this and finding ways to change that. So I think that's the next thing. If that doesn't happen, am I going to be upset? No, because this is where we're at.
Yeah.
We don't have we don't have a midfield, to be honest. We have a haphazard midfield of a former number 10, basically a second striker as a defensive midfielder, and
Hmm.
then a defensive midfielder who was more on destroying as opposed to building up and playing in this new system. So
Yeah.
overall isn't horrible, but why do we have to on the beautiful goal? Why have to have the beautiful goal gone the waste, man? I'm not going to get over that. I'm just not going to get over that,
I
and
get
that's
it.
okay.
I get it.
It,
Absolutely.
it's the life of a soccer fan.
Yep.
So that's the vibe. The vibe at United. I don't know what the vibe is. I can't figure that out. So we'll go to the rest of the leagues. We'll start with the Bundesliga, Paul. So kind of a shock. Bayern don't win.
Wow.
Bayern drew with Mainz.
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking, okay, this is a chance for other teams to pick up points. Well, they don't. RB Leipzig fall to Union Berlin 3-1.
Oh, no.
Dortmund go down to 10 men, but they're able to manage a draw. The only one who was way off that in terms of the points was Bayer Leverkusen in the top 4. They picked up points. So we're looking at a Bayern with 37, Leipzig with 29, Dortmund with 28, and Leverkusen with 23. That's
Man.
what we have over in the Bundesliga.
Bayern, I mean, I'm not going to call them lucky because they've been so dominant this entire year, but even when they slip up, like nobody else can make up the points in the league. That's the sign when things are going your way, at least from the league standpoint. When
Yeah,
you
I
stumble,
think
but
so.
nobody else helps themselves. It's like, oh, we're good. We're good.
Yeah. And I mean, like when you're in the halfway part of the season, like someone needs to at least start knocking at the door. I mean, 8 points. Someone
Yeah.
needs to knock at the door. I don't think it's
Yeah.
going
I
to
mean,
happen. But then, yeah.
no one's coming close to the driveway, Andy. I don't even know if
No,
anybody's I don't know if anybody's on the
that's
street
good.
yet.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's there.
Yeah.
Well, they going to have to figure it out because if Bayern, you're crushing it in the Bundesliga, let's see it in the Champions League because
Yeah.
I'd much
I mean,
rather have you win over Arsenal. So
well, yeah. Yeah.
we'll see if that happens.
But yeah, Andy, let's move on over to sunny, or I should say at this time of year, kind of colder Spain. So Real Madrid ended up advancing past Alaves 2-1. They stopped the slide. There's still some concerns there, man. I mean, they got problems. I mean, they got personnel problems, and you can see it every time that they play. So I will say, I think the one bright spot over the last couple of games, the Champions League game against City and then this La Liga game against Alaves, was Rodrygo has finally broken his streak. Andy, he was 30 or 31 games, I believe, without having a goal. And he's now scored 2 in his last 2. And he's been the one bright spot for Real Madrid. I mean, Mbappe is always going to be electric, and he's going to get you goals out of seemingly nothing because of how talented he is and explosive he is. Yeah. But they've needed somebody to step up on that right side and give them some balance over that overloaded left. And he seems to be providing it. So, that's definitely a bright spot that Real Madrid fans can kind of look to. But dude, that everywhere else it's a problem. It is a huge problem. So we'll see. We will see. And I'll get to more of them later when we talk about Champions League. Villarreal, interestingly, had their match postponed against Levante. I did not see or hear anything as to why, but it was postponed. So now Villarreal have 2 games in hand against everybody, Andy, which is super interesting.
Yeah.
So
crap. They might win the league with that. Crap.
Yeah. Well, statistically, they can't at this point. They would still finish behind Barcelona, but not 1 but 2 games in hand. They're going to get 20 points from the 2 games in hand, as
100%. Yeah. As every commentator will say, for sure. Yes.
Yep. Perfect. Exactly. So Atletico Madrid, they were actually saved by Antoine Griezmann with a 2-1 late winner over Valencia. So as the standings stand, go ahead.
I'm just going to say that was news to me. I did not even know Antoine Griezmann, the Grisou, was still playing. That's amazing.
He is. He's definitely gone more to the kind of fill-in role. He's coming off the bench, kind of being that support player. bringing some of the energy. I don't think. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name. The manager for Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone. There it is.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a super big brain fart. But I don't think Simeone believes Griezmann has it in the tank to go 90 minutes consistently anymore.
Sure.
So I think
Yeah.
he's more having him come off the bench and kind of be that support player. And Griezmann seems happy with that role as of right now. So, he did get that winner, ended up beating Valencia. So where the standings stand, Barcelona still in first with 43 points, Real Madrid 4 points behind with 39. Villarreal in third with 35, even with 2 games in hand, Andy, they're still in third. So they have the potential to go to 41 points, 2 points behind Barcelona, depending on how those 2 games go. And Atletico Madrid are still in fourth with 34 points. So still behind that Villarreal at 35, even with those 2 games in hand. So interesting to see how we sit. And kind of going to that, Barcelona. So as you know, Andy, this time last year, Barcelona had that big slide. And we actually are in a better spot now. I think we have 6 more points in the league right now than we had at this time last year. So
okay.
It's either 6 or 8. I don't remember if we were on 35 or 37 points, or maybe even 39. It's somewhere in there, that 4 to 8 point range. But we're even better now than we were back then because of that huge slide we hit over a couple month period. So that's why when everyone was freaking out about the results in November, like end of October, going into November, I'm like, everybody just needs to chill. We are very injured right now. We are hanging on. We are starting to get guys back again, and we're starting to see Barcelona, the Barcelona that we've expected over this last year and a half. So, interesting to see how we do. We're a little bit behind in the Champions League, but a little bit ahead in La Liga. So I think it all balances out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's always like once the injuries start coming back, things can calm down. So, looks like you are in a good position in La Liga, or at least as best as you can be. With the cushion against Real Madrid. Heading to Italy,
it's a carousel, dude. I'm just looking at these notes. It's a carousel.
Yeah, it really is, because it's all jumbled up. Because Napoli have fallen to Udinese. Napoli failed to even register a goal against them.
Wow.
So a little bit of stuttering, I think, for Antonio Conte's side. Inter continue their ways. They beat Genoa 2-1. The other team in Milan actually end up drawing with Sassuolo, which I don't think Sassuolo has been having that great of a year. So that's kind of a surprise result for Milan. But Roma, I think handily, or this deserves attention in that they were able to eke out a win against Como, because Como's been a giant killer for a lot of teams.
Cesc Fabregas, man.
Cesc Fabregas' team. He's definitely got it. I mean, he's definitely got the help. He gets getting the backing and influence by some other players, and potentially some of their money coming in does help. But they are putting in really good performances, so you can't complain against them.
Yeah.
So with that, we now have Inter with 33 points at first, followed by Milan at 32, and we'll continue just counting down by ones. Napoli at 31, and Roma at 30 to round up the top 4.
It's the closest race of the top league so far. So
it is. So I think it will still be pretty exciting, because I don't think anyone is the clear favorite. Anything can happen there.
Yeah.
Speaking of where anything can happen in Serie C with the 3 different groups, Cosenza draw with Trapani. They give up a late goal, go ahead, but then give up a goal to end with a 1-1 draw. They still stay in 4th in their group, but would love to see them still try to push on to get that automatic qualification spot there. Paul, let's go back to the Premier League, because I did not watch this weekend to hopefully see with my virgin eyes a United win at home, and alas, I'm not able to see that. So, but what's happened to the rest of the Premier League this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. So Forest surprisingly ended up toppling Tottenham 3-0. Another 3-0 result. City crushed Crystal Palace by that scoreline. Arsenal, man, dude, what a wild game this was. I believe there were 3 own goals. It was a 2-1 victory over Wolves, but
I
Arsenal
feel so
needed
bad
an
for Wolves, man. Oh, I
yeah.
feel so bad for them.
I know. Well, Arsenal needed a 70th minute own goal to take the lead 1-0. Actually, I don't think Wolves had an own goal to
Hmm.
tie the game. It was a good, just regular run of play kind of goal in the 90th
Yeah,
minute. And then in the 90 plus 4th minute, Arsenal scores another own goal, or Wolves score themselves, however you want to label it. And Arsenal
yeah.
barely eke out the win. It's just like, what happened?
I don't know. Like, see, there is Wolves have now have the bad luck, like a
Yes,
lot of the
a
bad luck of this
lot.
happening. Yeah, they haven't won a game yet. They have
Yep.
not won a match yet. We're almost halfway through the season. They haven't won a match yet.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really bad.
The
I remember.
storyline, though, if
Yeah,
they would have won or drew that game against the league leaders, would have been wild.
I would have loved that.
Yeah.
I would have absolutely loved that.
But
Maybe they're not too far away, but we'll see.
man, just don't look at the points. They're
So
so
yeah,
far away when it comes to the table. Holy
yeah.
cow.
Hey,
But yeah, so, and then the last 2 kind of notable results: Liverpool bounced Brighton 2-0 and Villa wipe away West Ham 3-2. So where
mhm.
that means with the standings: Arsenal first with 36 points still, City right behind with 34, Aston Villa 33, and then Chelsea are into that top 4 with 28. And Andy, I mean, Manchester United is still hanging around in that 6th place. They're, hey, to be
Don't.
fair, I know the results haven't gone your way, but you guys are hanging around right outside that top 4, poised. It's way better than being in 15th.
Poised? I don't think a
Poised.
4-4 is poised. I don't think you're poised.
You're poised to make a move, Andy. You're poised to make a move. The
We've been
results
saying
might
that
not
for
be
the past
poised.
3 games.
But you're still right there. I know, Andy. I know it is hard to see the silver lining, but I'm seeing it for you, and I will continue to see it for you.
Just don't watch United because they'll take out of that silver lining. The silver lining was a Bruno Fernandes free kick, a beautiful free kick. And the cloud was it's only in a 4-4 draw, so that goal doesn't matter. Like, you could have still started and ended with the same match and not had played anybody and just said, okay, we'll just go for a draw here. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
I just hear the salt, man. I just hear the salt. I know it's hard.
I don't want there to be honest. I don't want there to be salt for United. I've seen this team, and like as much as we can get into the top 4, we can easily drop in, and we'll be in the top 9 because Liverpool, Sunderland, someone else, all are equal to us on points. I think
Yep.
Crystal Palace are equal to us on points, so they can win and we can lose. Boom, we're all the way bottom them. And I don't know how we catch back up. Poised to drop. That's exactly it. Exactly it. All right, Paul, talk about a competition that I have no idea about because I haven't seen it in the past 3 years. In the Champions League. What is going on there?
Yeah, so notable results. I know that there were a lot of games, but I'll just kind of go over the notable ones. Dortmund ended up drawing Bodo Glimt 2-2, which is a shocker there. Biggest shocker, though, I think, was PSG drawing Atletico. Wow. Let me try that again. PSG drew Athletic Club Bilbao 0-0. I'll get to that in a minute when we talk about Supersub, Superdud. Man City roasted Real Madrid 2-1. Come from behind win for them in the Bernabeu, and it was just great seeing Real Madrid players just
they lost it.
No energy, no life. By the end of that game, just kind of staring in disbelief when the final whistle goes, as the camera, you know how the camera pans to all the players after the game's over, and they're kind of in their faces, and it was just like they just seemed like shocked, like all the life had been drained out of them. Peak television. So
can't wait to see. One day I'll see that. One day I will see that. Positively, yes. One day I'll see that too. But glad you got to see that against. Well, no, we have University of Michigan to laugh at, so we do have that. We do have that.
Yeah, we're not gonna. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. This podcast, man. We are not touching that. And
that's stuff that I go in there.
Yeah. And then one more noticeable result was Atalanta chewing through Chelsea 2-1. Interesting storyline. I'm not going to go into it too much, but there's been anytime that a team has beaten or like shockingly kind of drawn Barcelona this year, their next 2 to 5 games have all been horrible. This has happened to Real Madrid, who beat us, Sevilla, who beat us, Chelsea, who beat us, PSG, who beat us, and Club Brugge also. Club Bruges, Brugge, whatever. I know I mispronounced it last week, but like same thing. Like they've all like taken tumbles and slipped up in matches following the Barcelona game. So it's
Wow.
just an interesting thing to kind of look at. So
Yeah, you take it out of the rest of the, you take it out of the clubs.
yeah,
Interesting. Okay, I can see
yeah.
that definitely happens, and
So
it is happening. So
yeah. So where we sit, oh man, there we go, computer. Thank you for working with me. So, kind of, I think the biggest eyes that we're kind of seeing, Arsenal still have their full points. Bayern in second, only dropping the 1 with the 15 points. But other than that, like the amount of points that separate 15th to like that top 8 that people are searching for is only 2 points. So anything can happen over these last 2 weeks. Barcelona's looking to sneak into that top 8. I think Karabag FK are still barely holding on to that into that qualification, that top 24. Benfica has strung together 2 wins now. They're sitting just outside. If they can, manage to squeak some points out, they could slip into that top 24. Looking at Athletic Club, still only 2 points out, but 2 draws in a row have kind of kept them in the hunt anyway. I think still the biggest shock is just Villarreal still only has 1 point. Ajax finally got a win, but Villarreal, just for where they are in the league, and they're just really struggling to get points in Europe.
so strange, so very strange when that happens. But hey, that's tournament soccer. That's how it. That's why you pay. That's why you pay to play.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
all right, heading into our final segment of the Super Sub and Superdud. Paul, who do you got for your Super Sub?
Yeah, I'm gonna shock you, I think, here, Andy, and I'm actually gonna put a Real Madrid player here.
I am kind of shocked by that. I'm not gonna lie.
Say again.
I am shocked by that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So I got to give it to Rodrygo. I think he has strung together a couple of really good games after a horrible spell. And I think the hardest thing to do is not only get out of that slump, but consistently get out of that slump. So putting back 2 games back to back, again, for not against Man City because they ended up losing 2-1. But like I mentioned earlier, he has been the bright spot for them. And somebody who's down on their luck, I don't root for players to fail. Most players. Vinicius Jr. can go kick rocks for all I care. That guy's an absolute punk. But someone like Rodrygo, I don't root for him to fail. So, glad to see him kind of starting to do a little bit better and being a little bit of that bright spot. So, I'll tip the cap a little bit to him. Just a little. I'll just raise it just a little.
Hey, it's okay. You can wish the best for a player, even though if they're on this separate team, you just don't want their best to be against your team.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Exactly.
Perfect. So I'll just say for my Super Sub, I will go with Nicola Stulic for Lecce to get a 1-0 victory in their match. Just a classic Super Sub. He scored within 5 minutes of being introduced as a sub.
Nice.
He was able to see the game out for his team. So
yep, we love
just
those.
Classic Super Sub for there.
Definitely.
Duds, Paul. Give us your duds.
Yeah, I'm going just one this week, Andy. PSG. That game against Athletic Club Bilbao, they not only did they fail to score, Athletic Club only had a 29% possession stat and had 0 shots on goal. 0.
Holy cow.
PSG was 71% possession and I believe 17 total shots and 8 shots on target. Can't manage to get a goal in a result. So
that's poor.
It's just kind of shocking, honestly, but
that is, from PSG with Club World Cup winners, right? Like they won the whole thing. Like I thought they won the whole thing in the Club World Cup, so they're the best team.
Chelsea won the Club World Cup.
Chelsea did. That's right, they did. Because now they're like the greatest club in the world.
PSG won the treble last year.
They did win the treble. Yes, they did win the treble, and they won the Champions League, which is the highest honor. So that's the surprising bit with that.
Yeah.
So thank you for the reminder on Chelsea. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I just can't unsee Cole Palmer's face staring at Donald Trump like, why is he up here with us?
That's right. That's so right. And then what's his face right next to him being like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, is he
Yeah.
actually still up here?
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
So, but yeah, it's
What's
just kind of shocking, and like, why Nico Williams? You sealed your fate, man. You know, enjoy that money, enjoy all that money you're gonna make from Athletic Club Bilbao, but you are a tier below the top clubs. Like, man, what a shocker that was. Whew.
Yeah. Wow. You're not bitter about it though.
Not at
That's
all.
what I'm hearing.
Not honestly. I think
not
it
a
worked out better
chance.
for us. I think Rashford has performed better than Nico Williams would have for us. So I'm good.
That's nice to hear because hopefully we can cash. We might end up cashing in on Rashford, but as long
I'll
as
pay.
Rashford's happy, okay.
I'll donate. Cool. I'm
Perfect.
donating.
Please do because we'll be happy to take that money.
Yep.
And yes, United does connect with Superduds. All roads do lead back to Manchester United when it comes to the Superduds. I'm just going to give it for their control center, or lack thereof, just to control the game and just see it out. United really struggle from playing out, and there are many reasons for that. But there should be enough people there to be able to lock down a game and be like, okay, we're just going to kick the sting out of the game.
Yep.
Take it out a little bit, and we're not able to do so. So they're going to get my dud for that this week. Thanks, guys, for hanging with us on this podcast. We'll be back next week, potentially. I'll still have to talk with Paul on if we'll do another podcast next week, given the holiday week. But stay tuned for that, because, guys, you're our number one. You guys are our number one for us. So we'll keep you posted on what we do next. But until then, I have been Andy. Paul has been Paul. And with that, I'm wishing you all a big old bye.
Bye.